No society wants you to become wise. It is against the investment of all societies.
Well, good morning. How is everybody today? So, as you all know, I have lots of thoughts, and yesterday I had a couple thoughts about opinion. And so what I found out is that your opinion is neither fact nor reality. So, there we are. Ha! Alright, so, sorry, I disconnected for a second there. So, with that opinion, the fact about opinion not being fact or reality, I find that it's really easy for us to get caught up in our opinions, and we get so attached to it. And opinion, really all opinion is the conglomerate, the piling up, all the compartmentalization of all your experiences. It's the essence and the epitome and the thesis of everything that you've gone through and everything that you've learned. And we compile all that into one, honestly, it's kind of far-fetched that we compile it into like one thing as an opinion, because really, with all the different things that happen to us and all the things we learn, I feel like we should broaden them a little bit more instead of just compiling it into one thing. Because this thing happened to me, I have to think this certain way, which it's easy to get into, and the reason that we get so passionate and so convicted with our opinions is because of emotional impact. We learned those things through life, and it impacted us in an emotional way. So we're not reacting or acting or talking out or speaking out or lashing out at people, and they're different opinions because of their God damn it, it's so hard to talk today. We don't lash out because we think that they're wrong. We lash out because we found a different way, or we found what we believe in an emotional way. It like impacted us in an emotional way, and down to like our heart and our soul or whatever, So letting go of opinion is really important, because then you can start to see things in a balance, instead of saying, oh, well, I'm right and I'm absolutely right, and it may not even be to the point where you say to yourself, I'm right and no one else is wrong. It's just that you believe so strongly that what you learned through emotional impact is the only way. And when you let go of that, you can start to see that, wow, that guy, he has a different opinion. And then going back to what I was talking about, perspective. You see someone else's perspective about it, you're like, why is that? Instead of asking, why are they being stupid, or this, that, or the other, or they're just stupid, or their idea means this, or they just don't understand, or they're not fully educated, or they don't know this or that, which I have done thinking and saying to people. But when you get past that, you can start to ask, you're like, wait a second. He thinks this way for a certain reason. He, she, it, whatever. They think this way for a certain reason. And what I'm trying to do is rewire my brain to become interested in why that is. And like ask questions. And that's how you build relationships. You build relationships through trust. Now, the problem is that relationships aren't relationships. Relationships are the result of trust. And relationships are built on the shattery, brittle, very fragile bones of trust. And it can be broken so easily. But it can also be morphed into something very, very strong. And it can also be broken just as easily after all that work. So relationships, we need to get into the habit of seeing relationships as trust. They're not, oh, he's in a relationship or they're in a relationship, whatever. All it is a bond of trust between two people. And trust is very, very, very fragile and very, very easily broken. So building that is the most important thing. It's the only thing that comes before a relationship can start, is building trust. So when we can do that well, and when we can do that efficiently, and when we can do that to the depth that it gets through to the person, that you actually do care and you want to build trust with them, then that's how you build a really strong relationship, is building a very firm foundation of strong trust. And at first it starts out, all trust starts out brittle. Especially when you've been screwed over so many times, your musculoskeletal trust structure is very weak, and it's hard. It's you don't want to give it over to people because you could just the smallest touch and you could crack, you know? So trying to understand why people think the way that they do, getting over your opinions, and let me see, I wrote them down because I had so many ideas and I was excited about them. So, building trust is probably it's the most important thing before any relationship can start. And the way to get to trust is to get over your opinions. And when you get over your opinions, you can start to see the world and situations and reactions through the other person's eyes. And that's, I mean, there's good and bad to that. I mean, it depends on what you do with it, but getting to that point is probably the most important thing, because then you can start to build trust with that person and you can build relationships, because relationships are everything. That's all. I mean, if you don't have relationships, then you really don't have much, you know? So, what else did I say? So I came up with this quote. I said, seek not to convince the other person to your way of thinking or to agree with you, but to understand and explore the unique reason why they disagree. So, it's really, I mean, when you can get down to like a very personal level with someone and just kind of level with them and be like, and you don't even have to be like out, you know, straightforward and honest with what you're trying to do with them, but just getting to a point where you can realize that, wow, this person has this opinion for some reason, and start asking good questions instead of just assuming, oh, well, this is this and that and whatever, and they've been surrounded by this kind of person and that's why they're like this and they're just another one of these people. So instead of thinking like that, my phone's about to die. Oh no! Instead of thinking like that, I think what I'm trying to do is get to a point where I can see the other person's opinion as a backstory. There's a backstory to everyone's opinion, and becoming interested in that opinion will definitely gain you a lot of favor and a lot of trust, and then you can build really strong relationships from that. So, I think that's all I had to go over. I wrote so much down, I only said so little. It's so hard. Yeah, so just become efficient with that. Yeah, build trust, guys. Remember, trust is very, very brittle, and it can be easily broken. And you have to understand, furthermore, to build trust, you have to understand what builds trust with people. You have to understand how to make that stronger and how to prove to them that they can trust you. So, I don't know. It's really easy to get selfish. I think this world is just filled with a lot of selfish people and selfish things and things that encourage you to be selfish instead of trying to build better relationships, trying to build relationships, period. And I don't know, it's kind of sad sometimes. Think about it too much, it just kind of explodes. So, alright, I'm rambling now. Time to go. I love you all, and I will see you